Today, we're diving into a popular post from the Reddit titled as, "Not pay me for the website I built? Say goodbye to your business, house and reputation." This post received 15,544 upvotes. Posted by NZ Devon. The post reads as follows. This happened early 2000s. I used to be a freelance front-end dev and a search engine optimization guru. Back then getting on the front page of Google was pretty simple. Link exchanging was popular but risky. I never did that, but I did have a single website that had serious page rank clout due to it being linked as a trusted source, directly from one of the top and most trusted websites in the world. I would use this website for the best clients to get their PageRank and search engine position leapfrogging other, older and more trusted websites. One day I was approached by someone I'll call Bob. Now Bob sold travel packages. He needed to revamp his basic, existing website, with a complex website built with pretty tricky back-end coding. I could do the front end but I had to hire a back-end dev to build the functionality. Bob had a major launch in a month's time and it had to be ready. I usually ask for 25% deposit up front but Bob said no. He was stung by the last dev and wasn't going to lose any more money. Now from the moment I met Bob my gut was telling me this was going to end badly. The problem was I needed the money and it was worth quite a lot of money for me and the dev. I skipped the deposit on the promise he paid in full before it went on his server. Bob agreed. For an entire month we worked day and sometimes all night to get this done in his timeframe. With a day to spare we had done it and I'd never been so proud of what we had achieved. I was honestly excited to show Bob. The next day I sent the link to my test server and he phoned me to discuss it. Bob said everything looked good but he was worried his server's PHP version may be too old to run it. I assured him it would but he said he was too scared it won't and we would scrub our hands of it. We went backwards and forwards but he was insistent the site has be uploaded and tested on his server before he parts with a penny. I chatted to my dev. He didn't like it either but agreed we would upload our work onto his server. Bob gave me the FTP details and server login and I uploaded the site. I told him it was live and then, nothing. I sent several emails and then phone calls. The emails went unanswered and the phone went to voicemail. Sensing a major problem I rushed to my computer, fired up my FTP program to delete our work on his server and access denied. He had locked us out and the following day he went live with our work. For several days I tried phoning until one morning he answered the phone and said, "Listen, I'm not ever going to pay you and there is nothing you can do about it." Then Bob hung up. Rage was a good word for my feelings. I was shaking while I still held the phone in my hand. For the next hour my range of expletives was growing in complexity. As I sat there figuring out what to do, it hit me. Revenge will be mine. I registered a new domain name, which was Bob's travel domain name plus sucks at the end. If Bob's website was called bobstravel.com, I had purchased bobstravelsucks.com. I uploaded our work, basically an exact mirror of his live website, onto my new domain. I used my all-powerful mega page rank domain to link to my new sucks domain. Within a month my website jumped above his website in Google for every conceivable search phrase you would use for the packages he sold. No matter what you typed in, my site was the first result and his was always below mine. During that month I created a second website, which was Bob's full name with sucks at the end. On this second website I posted what happened, screenshots of his emails and warning everyone what a conman he is. Bob had a somewhat unusual first and last time. Again within a month my website was above his own personal website. I then forgot all about it. About 4 months later I get a cease and desist email from a solicitor's firm. A quick Google showed the solicitor's firm was made up and didn't exist. I reply back with, "I'm not ever going to take them down and there is nothing you can do about it." Every now and then I'd get emails from people he had conned by taking their money for a travel package but never booking their package. I'd put those on both of my websites, making sure those juicy important keywords, his full name and company name, were spread across each negative review. A few more months pass and I get an anonymous email linking to a new domain called My Name Sucks. I'm told to remove my 2 websites and he will remove this new one. A quick search and what do you know? It isn't even on Google. No one could find it. I reply back for a second time with his comment to me. As each month passes, I'm getting more and more people emailing me saying they've been ripped off. I keep adding them to my website. Turns out the travel agency world is well regulated and they started an investigation into Bob's company, using my website as their main tool. I get a call from Bob. Bob is not a happy Bob. In fact, Bob is more of a desperate Bob. Looking at this text now, I know you can almost hear the despair and resentment in Bob's voice. Bob pleads and literally begs me to pull the sites down. Not only is he being investigated by the Travel Agency Association, but he had some very important friends that didn't appreciate the bad press he was causing in their circles. He offers to pay me the money he owed. Nothing more, just what he owed. For the 3rd time, and with a massive smile on my face, I say, listen, I'm not ever taking them down and there is nothing you can do about it. Roll on a few months and I discover his travel company has been removed from all travel associations. No matter what you typed into Google, my website outranked his and all the bad reviews on my site were the first thing his potential customers would see. I crippled his business so badly, it went bust. During the collapse, one of his ex-employees contacted me and told me how hard he had worked to get my websites off the first page. He had registered dozens and dozens of other domains in the hopes some would jump ahead. Little did he know only the top dozen websites in the world could jump it. Apparently his property was tied into loans on the failing business and he lost his house too. It took me just about a year to turn his business from a cash cow to a dead cow. Motto of the story: if you ever think to mess with a dev, don't. Winking face updates. My first ever award. Thanks for the silver. Wow. Thank you for all your awards. Many of you are saying I should have taken the money and not pulled the sites down. At that point it wasn't about the money. He thought he could simply buy his way out of it after pretending to be a solicitor and then trying the same thing on me. Him knowing I didn't care about the money anymore must have driven him crazy, because money was all he cared about. He then knew he could do nothing to stop his business going down the pan and all he could do was watch it all fall apart around him. A comment from user Manic Digression says, "Kudos to your strength of principle, not taking his money when he offered it. I'd have demanded double, taken that, then went dark and did nothing after getting it just like he originally did. You, sir, pulled off not only pro-revenge but also retained the moral high ground." This comment received 1931 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "It took time but for me, it was completely worth doing it the way I did." This reply received 829 upvotes. A comment from user Kuroko Matsu says, "Now this is a pro-revenge story. Love it. If you have any more please do share." This comment received 1938 upvotes. A comment from user Zuzer Jesus says, "No joke, your story is inspirational AF. Thank you for sharing this." This comment received 734 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "Haha, you're welcome smile." This reply received 268 upvotes. A comment from user Ret342 says, "Back in the mid-2000s I did a website for some guy who was running for a state seat in Kentucky. He was an idiot and annoyingly fundy who didn't stand a chance of winning and the money was supposed to be good so whatever. If I thought he stood a chance of winning I wouldn't have done it, but if an idiot wants to give me money I'll happily take it. I registered his site and got it all up and running. When you first opened the site there was a cheesy picture of him in a nice shirt and tie with his sleeves rolled up in front of the state capitol with a bunch of text under it talking about him. The guy loved it so I sent him the bill. A few weeks went by and I never got my money. I emailed him a few times and got a promise of payment but that was it. A month or two later I told him he needed to pay me now or he wouldn't be happy with his site. Amazingly enough, I didn't get the money. I went into the site and changed it so that cheesy picture of him was the only thing that showed up. In addition to the text being gone, I also added a text bubble with, "I'm idiot name and I don't pay my bills." I emailed him and told him to check some changes I'd made. I got an email back begging me to change the site back to the way it was before and lose the picture. I told him I'd be happy to as soon as I got paid. A day or so later I got a check from his mom. Once I was sure the check had cleared and the cash was in my account, I changed it back. I never heard from him again, and suffice to say, he never even made it onto the ballot. This comment received 167 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "It's crazy how many times people think they can do this and not expect us to do something about it." This reply received 76 upvotes. A comment from user Geeky Penguin 91 says, "There's a piece of code I found on GitHub that slowly fades the website to nothing after a preset date. Any projects that I take on now that I'm not 100% sure about, I include this code and set the date to the payment due date. If it remains unpaid, then from the due date over the next 2 weeks the page slowly fades away, until it becomes completely invisible. Pay your bill and the code is removed. Simples." This comment received 140 upvotes. A comment from user Gaydon Daishan says, "As a developer myself, kudos. That is no easy task. Very well done." This comment received 222 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "Thank you, smile." This reply received 66 upvotes. A comment from user Deleted User says, "Deleted." This comment received 196 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "It's the simple comments that I tend to laugh the most at. Thank you, grin thumbs up." This reply received 94 upvotes. A comment from user Red Baron 180 says, "I don't understand the bobs of the world. Just pay what was probably not a ton of dollar, and your business prints money for years." This comment received 161 upvotes. A comment from user Mastiff Time Traveler says, "I thought the kill switch if the client changed admin settings without permission was amazing. This is definitely more pro. I would be so satisfied by how much I lived rent-free in this guy's head." This comment received 50 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "Exactly. People are saying I should have taken the money when he begged me to. It was knowing how hard and how much time he spent trying to stop me that made the money then irrelevant. This was purely revenge, nothing else." This reply received 36 upvotes. A comment from user NametakenFan says, "I've been having a rough day at work. Nothing super terrible. Just a crap day that I'll forget about by the weekend. And this turned my entire day around and put the biggest smile on my face. I tip my hat to you. Good sir." This comment received 86 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "No one deserves a bad day. I tip my dev hat back at you and hope you enjoy the rest of the day thumbs up." This reply received 46 upvotes. A comment from user GadgetsDad says, "Wise guys and web devs you just don't fuck with." This comment received 83 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "Ha. So true grin." This reply received 38 upvotes. A comment from user Akio says, "Quick question. Does today work more tedious or you feel slower whatsoever because of the technical advancements compared to 20 years ago?" This comment received 54 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "The coding side hasn't really changed much. The CO side is nowhere near as easy as it once was. It actually takes effort now smile." This reply received 84 upvotes. A comment from user AG_N says, "When girls say they like gentlemen, they mean you." This comment received 71 upvotes. A comment from user Dona ID Trumpy says, "When someone tried to get out of paying a deposit for your work on the basis that they've ripped off their last contractor, that's a good reason to not work for them. Not a good reason to remove both the deposit and the fee-shifting provisions from the contract." This comment received 62 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "The most valuable lessons I gained from this was to never again take on a job with no deposit and never, ever, ever upload to the client's server without being paid first." This reply received 80 upvotes. A comment from user Mr. Danny Santos says, "Ah man, I used to dev CO back in the '02. What a time. I also learned the hard way that you always need a contract. That should be the real morale of this story. Although admittedly yours is a lot more satisfying." Cold sweat smile. This comment received 16 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "I worked through the times where the website needed to be pixel perfect in all versions of IE, including IE6. I still shudder when IE6 ever gets mentioned." Open mouth smile. This reply received 13 upvotes. A comment from user Mystic_Art says, "Do you know what happened to all the people he stiffed, yourself included? Did anyone get any money back?" This comment received 15 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "I know some of his customers tried suing. Many complained to the travel ombudsman, which is how the investigation and my site came together." This reply received 22 upvotes. A comment from user Epicenter69 says, "Looks a lot like this story. Please read about adding some backend code and save yourself some work on multiple sites. https://www.reddit.com/r/pro_v/comment_me_by_me_out_me_by_source equals share and UTM_medium equals iOS_app and UTM_name equals iOSSMF." This comment received 14 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "It was this one that reminded me of mine. A mod can message me if they wish, as there is still proof of this post online via news sources." This reply received 10 upvotes. A comment from user Deleted User says, "You should start selling travel packages using that revenge website now, haha." This comment received 8 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "Once he went bust, I didn't bother renewing the domains. They had done their job, smile." This reply received 11 upvotes. A comment from user IBaweel Stuff says, "Why didn't you just take him to court for the money that he owed you? This sounds like a made-up fantasy." This comment received -6 upvotes. A reply from the original author NZ Devon says, "I didn't have the money. What I did have was time, which I put to good use." This reply received 10 upvotes.